Ladies and gentlemen, nerds and neckbeards.
Oh, yeah. We're off to a good start.
This is what happens when you drink.
Welcome
to an episode.
The well-tempered Curacao.
Of Westworld, wheneverly.
Hey, Dave. Stump Dave.
Hey, Tana. We're going to start off with Stump Dave?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
What is the name of this episode?
The Well-Tempered Clavier.
Clavier.
Clavier. Clavier.
Question.
Yeah.
What is a claver?
It's one of those things you use to chop meat up. You know, you go in the backyard and you grab your claver and you just get those pork loins and those bones.
What? Not wrong.
Yeah.
And actually, if the well-tempered clavier is Bernard, since this whole episode, season 1, episode 9, is all about Bernard and Arnold, the big reveal.
Big reveal.
That would mean he's the well-tempered clavier, and he's also a cleaver, so it works.
So what is a clavier?
It is a keyboard instrument, especially one with strings, such as a harpsichord.
A keyboard instrument?
A keyboard instrument.
With strings.
Yep.
So is that like the guitar?
Yep. So
that would be a clavier?
Yes. So a well-tempered clavier.
Interesting.
So he is the piano that Ford is playing.
Oh.
Right?
He is. And there's white keys and black keys on a piano.
Hopefully this is your one offensive thing to say.
Whoa, what do you mean offensive? I'm talking about white hats and black hats. What are you talking about?
I thought we were taking a turn already.
Tana!
What are we drinking, Dave? What brilliant drink are we drinking tonight?
We are continuing to drink from the last episode because we're doing another twofer.
Yeah.
We are determined to get this done before season 2 starts, which happens this Sunday,
we are
April
so close.
22nd,
That's what she said. We're
23rd.
so close.
Oh man, just hold out one more, a little bit longer, please, please, please. No. Damn it. It's something I never hear.
Cheers, my friend. This
Cheers.
drink looks like nothing to me.
So
it does look like poop, though.
It does look a little brown. And what we're drinking is a beautiful rum punch that I concocted.
It is delicious.
We've got freshly smashed pineapple.
Yeah.
We've got some orange juice. We've got some cranberry juice. We've got a little bit of blue curacao. And, of course, a whole lot of this beautiful, delicious, creamy coconut rum.
So good that we don't know the name of still.
I forget what its name is, but...
Yep. Maybe, you know
what
what we'll do?
Martinique.
We'll write it down in the...
we'll write it down in the description.
Yeah, we'll put it in the description. So if you're actually interested in what brand it is, we will write it down.
I mean, you can probably make this drink with Malibu or whatever.
It just won't be as creamy and good. It just won't be
as creamy and good, which is what she said.
Cheers again.
Oh, we're off to a good start on episode 9.
Bernard is Arnold, and Arnold is Bernard.
I told you, but no.
I didn't remember.
Miss Tana didn't want to believe me.
Who's the third guy in the picture? Do we ever find out?
No, I don't think we do.
Is it Ford's dad? It kind of looks like Ford's dad.
Is it Logan's dad?
Oh.
Maybe?
Yeah.
You know, since he kind of kept
But we never find out, right?
I don't think we ever find out.
Man, thanks for season 2. So that's
maybe
thing
it's
that
a
we
host.
might...
Maybe it's young Abernathy or some shit like that. You know?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
All right, well, we'll see. So we open with Maeve revealing Bernard.
Yes.
And he is shook. She freezes him, enlightens him. And Bernard, if you go looking for the truth, make sure you get the whole thing. It's like a good fuck. Half is worse than none at all.
Oh, man.
Oh, because he's checking her out, right? In the
last
episode,
Maeve
she had her freak out.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit, but she slit the throat of New Clem.
Yep,
completely eviscerates her.
Yeah.
They bring her in for evaluation, and Bernard is sitting there, and he's like, "What?" Well,
Bernard recently having his memory wiped.
He doesn't know he's a host.
Yep.
He says he's starting to do analysis on Maeve. Analysis, why did you do that? Analysis.
Let's take a look under the hood.
Yep.
And opens up all of her behavior shit that's been tinkered with.
And he's like, what the fuck is going on?
Grabs his hand really quick.
Yep. And she says, freeze all motor functions or something.
Yes, because now she's super powered. She has the power of speech over everyone.
And he freezes and he's like, why the fuck am I frozen?
Right.
I'm not a...
Oh, you know what I just realized? So Bernard has been designing all of the hosts, right?
Yes.
And what we find out later is Ford says to him, you've done so much harm to them over time, with all of the protocols and whatever that you've written for them. You're no friend to them. Maeve, in the last episode, had Felix do some core updates, right? Some really complicated stuff that she says she wrote down so that he would be able to follow. Yeah. Right. And so I wonder if, like Bernard, her cognition, and she was able to change her own
perception.
code. Yes.
I'm sure she did.
And this is why she is now able to, through narration, tell people what to do, the hosts, what to do, what to think, who to shoot, whatever. Yep. She has that power because she, like Bernard, was able to, untangle it, work with it. And she disabled her own inner safeties. So now she's able to grab him and say, freeze all motor functions. And he is. And so she freezes him, and then she's like getting real close to his face. And she's like, you're still in there, aren't you? I know you can hear me. And then she just starts like laying open his false existence.
Yep.
Because he's now, he thought he was a human, but now he can't move. He's trapped.
He's realizing he's a
host, just like her.
Yeah.
I thought I had seen you before. You didn't know that you were one of us. Ugh, man, it's stone cold. Yeah. And Bernard, if you go looking for the truth, make sure you get the whole thing. It's like a good fuck. Half is worse than none at all. Ugh. Bernie starts to melt down, man.
This sends Bernie on a spiral, which we see later on.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's a whole climax.
Yeah, maybe it's the next scene, right? He walks into Ford's office and he starts. Oh, look at that! I was right. Oh no, I was wrong.
It's Logan. It's Logan in the Confederales.
Oh. Yeah, so Billy wants to free Dolores. Yeah. Out. If it's such a wonderful place out there, why are y'all trying to clamor to get in here?
They're talking about, so he thinks, William, thinks that Dolores is malfunctioning. Yeah. And he is really concerned with her personhood. He's like, she's different than the rest of them. Logan, you have to listen to me. They're both, Dolores and Logan are... arguing. William are both tied to the chairs, and William is sort of like holding court like a king.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, idiot. What are you going to do? Break her out of here? Yeah. Bring her home as a trophy? Like, have you thought this through? What are you talking about?
Yeah. And Dolores butts in and says, hey, who said anything about getting out?
Yep.
If it's so great out there, why are all you folks trying to get in here?
Yes. Oh, she's so good. Dolores, whose name means sorrow. And then Logan, threatening William, says, I'm going to teach you a lesson, but not the way that you wanted me to, or something like that. And he lifts Dolores, who's screaming, and like, end scene, what's going to happen next? Oh my God. Bernard, from there, is in Ford's office.
He's
on a mission.
He's looking for something, or...
Secret
Agent Bernard, Secret Agent Arnold. Oh, I switched it on you.
I can't tell the difference between them. He goes into Ford's office, does something he shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Ford is in the murder basement. He takes Ford down to the deep storage.
I think what he does is he tells Ford to meet him down there. And so he walks down there and he goes, oh, Bernard, you wanted to meet down here? Something must be up.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting place. You wanted to meet him among the dead. You wanted to meet among the dead? And Bernard says, hobbled, actually. Wouldn't that be more of an apt term?
Yeah.
And he shows him his little behavior tablet that says that they're still functioning.
Right.
And it looks like their brains are alive, but their bodies are off.
Yeah.
Stump Dave.
Yes.
What does the word hobbled mean?
Ooh. Well, I immediately go to Hobgoblin, which is an enemy of Spider-Man. So I'm going to have to say hobbled means big green and has pumpkin bombs.
Although I did get to draw the Goblin Army for Silk. Go pick up Silk from Marvel Comics.
Plug. Yes.
No, but it means to tie or strap together to prevent from straying.
Okay.
Restrict the activity
Maybe
or development.
Maybe that's why there are so many of them all together.
Right? And so they're hobbled. They are restricted in activity. Restricted in development.
Yeah, and so what does Bernard do?
What does he do?
he gets Clementine to pull
That's
a gun.
He
on
walks.
him.
He's like, loophole in the system. They were in such a rush to retire this one who is violent against humans and prove she could be violent.
That when they lobotomized her, they never forgot
They never undid that last sloppy hurt human bullshit that they put in her.
Right.
So here she is.
Yeah.
Because he pulls a gun on him. That's what he does. Bernard pulls his gun out. And Ford's like, you can hold the gun, but you can't use it on me.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't.
But she can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he says, I want you to give me back all my memories.
That's right.
All of them.
I hacked what's left of her, so she only listens to me. So Ford unlocks Bernard. It's no surprise that when he flashes back, it's to Charlie, his son.
Yep. He realizes this is his cornerstone, and he actually lets go.
Yep.
He lets go. He says, I'm at peace with you dying. I have to be.
Freeze all motor functions. Yep. And the scene freezes. Do you think that this is him imagining it? Do you think at any point...
I think he's reliving it, right?
Do you think he did that at some point?
I don't know. I don't think he did that, right? He's a host. This is a memory that they put in him. Right. Right?
So but then why is he able in his mind to say freeze all functions?
Because remember, he's a host. So when he relives a memory, it's like playing a file. Right?
Oh,
he's playing back this file in his brain.
So is it an imagination thing?
I think it's all in his head, right?
Yeah.
In the
he
world,
never actually had this scene happen
right.
with the hosts that were created. I used to think you had my eyes, but in truth, you have no one's eyes.
Exactly.
Oh, it's so heartbreaking.
Yep. And so he goes back and he basically says, if I can let go, maybe I'll remember Arnold. Maybe I'll remember the first time waking up. And he ends up, he realizes that Ford made him kill Elsie, right? The closet case, and Teresa.
Oh, what was the book? Do you know, this was such a beautiful detail. When he flashes back for the first time, send me in. You know, you could go crazy, says Ford. You know, you could lose your mind. We've been down this road before. He's like, no, I need to know the whole truth.
And she'll make sure that you bring me back.
Yeah, she'll make sure. So send me in. I got to do this. He's reading a book. Do you know what he's reading?
Alice in Wonderland. Down the rabbit hole.
And they're talking about the Mad Hatter.
Yep.
The madman that's in control of everything.
Yep.
And I mean, that's Ford. That's Ford.
There's a beautiful quote he says out of that. If I could make the world, I would make sure that everything is what it isn't and nothing is what it is.
Yes. And yes. And so I'm like, this topsy-turvy, upside-down bullshit. He's thinking he remembers Teresa. He remembers their whole relationship, like waking up together.
Yep.
He remembers his wife, except the wife glitches. So
He's not a real person.
Right. So, and it kind of becomes Ford's voice at some point, or it gets scattered. So, like, we're supposed to believe this is an implanted memory for something that didn't really exist. Right. It's not like it was Arnold's story.
Right.
But Arnold might have had a son that died because Ford makes some cryptic thing about, I gave you this origin story as an homage.
As an homage, right. Exactly.
The murder, the lies.
Well, he
sees Elsie.
He also says that Arnold thought the sad ones were better or something like that. So maybe that's kind of the homage, but there's some connection there between a sad cornerstone and Arnold in general.
And Elsie, when he's choking Elsie, she says Bernard.
Yeah.
In wasn't it true in the actual episode she says Arnold?
Well, she says Arnold, she says Bernard, Arnold, and then she gets hit because she's like, "Who's there? Is Bernard? Is that you?"
And so he remembers killing his friends.
Yep.
And killing his lover. And then I have this in quotes, but I don't know who in the episode said it. A little trauma can be illuminating. Does Bernard say that to Ford, or does Ford say that to Bernard?
I think Ford says it to Bernard.
A little trauma can be illuminating. Send me back, says Bernard.
So he goes all the way back, and his first memory, he ends up at his first memory, which is him waking up in front of Ford.
Yep.
And Ford says, I haven't decided what to name you yet.
Yep.
He says something like, I can't use Arnold. Mm-hmm. How about Bernard? And then you see Bernard's face, and he goes, yes, I like that. Mm-hmm. And then basically Ford is training Bernard. He takes his glasses off, puts them back on, and Ford says something like, no, he always did it as a kind of way of thinking.
He said, no, that's far too perfunctory. He always used cleaning his glasses as a moment to collect himself, to think. It's at this moment. So this is the penultimate scene of the whole episode. So we're jumping way, way ahead to the end of the episode, but it's so exciting. How can we not? No, that's far too perfunctory. He always used cleaning his glasses as a moment to collect himself, to think. Oh, and it's like middle-aged Ford that we see in this flashback when Bernard first comes online.
Yep.
So maybe 10 years ago, maybe 15.
Yeah, something along those lines.
It had been several years, over a decade, since real Arnold had died.
Yep.
But Ford needed to create him, needed to bring him online.
Does he hand him the photograph right after that?
No. What does he... No, because he hands him the photograph in real life. No, they're... Okay. I do have a Stump Dave for you, though. Stump Dave. What does the word perfunctory mean?
Oh, God. Let's see. Pro means professional. Fun is something that we all like to have. And dictory is something that I do in the bathroom. So I'm going to have to say professional fun with a dick in a bathroom.
Mm-hmm. All right. That is absolutely wrong. In many, many ways, that is very wrong. Although, you can tell me how close it is. Perfunctory. An action or gesture carried out with a minimum of effort.
Oh, come on. I mean...
or with a minimum of effort or reflection.
I mean... I'm not going to lie. It's pretty easy. Man, I'm good at this. This is...
Bernard... When Bernard goes into the hosts, like when he tells Charlie that it's all a lie and goes back in... Go back to my earliest memory, as he's coming to life, as, you know, we're seeing Bernard's face, and it looks very robotic, actually. It looks like early, you know, like his eyes are kind of glitchy, and the actor does a really great job there. We hear Ford say, "Hello, my old friend, at last, and open your eyes." And when he says, no, that's too perfunctory, he always used cleaning his glasses.
Yeah, this is all leading up to being like, dude, this is Arnold.
It's obviously Arnold. Oh, man. But we got to go way back, Dave. We got to go back.
Let's step in our way back machine real quick.
A little trauma can be illuminating. Cut to Logan and William having their own trauma. Logan... guts Dolores in front of William.
Yep. This and it's I think we see it's like metal inside. It's not
she's got like pistons and shit.
Pistons and gears. So this is an original Dolores. This is really the first time that we realize this is not the current time.
Yeah.
Because up until then, anytime we've seen some host get hurt, it's been like real flesh and blood.
Yep.
And we see them cut open Dolores and we're like, she's a robot inside.
Also, later in that scene when there's like, when William goes all black hat and kills everyone, one of the elbows has like a glitch on it. And so like there's an actual like, like a little thing that
servo.
just keeps, keeps going on this severed elbow, which you never see. We've seen a lot of dead bodies and they're not like, you know, spitting sparks or metal anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
But so Logan gets right up in William's face and shows him what picture?
It's a picture of his wife, or soon-to-be wife, which is the original picture that Abernathy found in the fucking dirt.
Ding, ding, ding.
Which is William's future wife,
episode 1.
Logan's sister.
That's right. That picture of that woman is from episode 1 is actually the fiance of the Man in Black, William, who becomes the suicide lady.
That's right, which is full circle.
The reason why Maeve
split. Now all the theories have come to it.
Yeah, and so
this is what happens when I get a little drunk. You know, songs come out. It's weird.
It's so they're talking about. It's a beautiful song, Dave. You're a very talented songster.
Thank you. Is that a thing? Songster?
I don't know. It might be.
Right.
Maybe.
They called me T Swizzlies back in my day. The original.
Dolores cuts Logan's face there.
Yes.
She cuts his face, but they're not supposed to be able to leave.
Yeah, doesn't he?
Any
he
scars.
makes some comment about that too, right?
Yeah.
He says that's something. I forget what it was, but
and she said, "There's beauty in this world. Arnold made sure of it. Someone needs to burn it clean."
Yeah,
she says this.
Logan says, "I don't know who the fuck Arnold is."
Yeah.
But
And he's like, but, there isn't. And she is schisming. She runs away. So he guts her, cuts her open.
Yep.
And then runs away. Here's the word remember. And she kind of time hops as Dolores into pants or into
the blue dress.
Or no wound.
Yeah, no wound.
You can tell that she doesn't have a wound. And she's running, but she's been in the same spot before. And so something is glitching with her.
Yep.
We go from there to Hector in the safe and Reptile Face. Maeve shows up, a shotgun. And
this part's really good.
It's great.
Hector goes to pee or relieve himself, and she says, basically you should listen to me. I know what's going to happen. Watch. They're going to stand up and all kill each other, and then...
You're 2 minutes away from everyone in your party...
dying.
Shooting each other, and then you and the rattlesnake girl getting into a standoff because no one can open the safe.
Yep.
And you both shoot each other to death. And he doesn't believe her.
Right. And sure enough, it happens. Mm-hmm. But instead of... And rattlesnake girl says her line. She says, look what you've gotten us into. Goes to shoot... Hector, and Maeve steps out with a shotgun and blows her away.
And then Maeve's like, guess who has the combination to this safe?
Yep.
But guess what?
You're not going to like what's inside.
That was the ending that was written for you. You're going to play it over and over again. You're not going to like what's inside the safe. I could make you do what I want you to do, but I want you to choose.
Yep.
And she just sits on top of the safe, and he's like,
we've been here before. Yep.
And she goes, if you don't like it, you can kill me. And she hands him the knife. Pointed at her own belly again.
Yep, which they did inside Mariposa.
Yep. And he's like, we have done this before. And so she recruits Hector, and they go to hell together.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's not
sex in a fire tent.
And she was like, we've also done this. And kisses him. Oh, I love their little robot love.
Is it fire in a sex tent, or is it sex in a fire tent? Or is
their sex is on fire. Cue the music.
Oh, damn it. I missed such an obvious good one.
Ding, ding, ding. 10 points.
I'm really disappointed in myself. Damn it.
From their sex is on fire, Billy and Logan are bros for life again. All is forgiven. Romantic music swells in the background.
Cuts her up. He cuts them. He lets Billy loose.
Yeah, they drink together.
They drink.
All is forgiven.
They go to sleep.
Bros for life.
And they go to sleep.
Logan wakes up. Actually, we go from there to Teddy waking up. Everything in this episode, it was hard to follow.
Yeah.
And I
think
found
they did
myself,
it on purpose. You know, they were really jumping.
Yep. They wanted everything to feel, I think, all smushed together. And all the storylines are coming together at once. But I found myself, because this is the climax of the show or the penultimate episode of the whole season.
That's what happens when I go perfunctory. There's a climax. With minimal effort.
Well done, David. Nice. With minimal effort. It's very perfunctory of you.
Very perfunctory of me.
I wouldn't brag about that, honestly.
No? Doesn't that just mean that I'm good?
A minimal of effort? I mean, you get to assign value however makes sense to you.
I mean, in my mind, it's man, I know what it takes, and it just get the job done, That's...
I guess, yeah. So,
I mean, I guess in some worlds, taking a longer time is better, but, being a 1 minute man could be good.
Teddy wakes up with Blondie, too. Teddy.
And when I mean Minutemen, of course, I mean the army that you sign up into, the militia states, the state's militia.
No, you mean the mascot of the UMass Amherst
College. Of course,
Yeah.
The Minutemen.
The Minutemen.
Yeah,
that's
which
right.
was a militia, right. Yeah.
I petitioned the school back in the day to change their mascot from the Minutemen to the Debaters.
Oh.
But they did not want to be called
the Master Debaters?
The UMass Debaters.
The UMass Debaters.
Hey-o!
Oh, what a dad joke you just pulled.
I love a good dad joke. This drink looks like nothing to me.
Okay, back on track.
Teddy tells his story. They killed the general. He's misremembering this whole murder scene.
Yeah, he says I came back and they were all the soldiers were dead, and the girl says something like, "Are you sure that's how it happened?
Yep.
Do you really remember what's going on?"
And then
he clicks and he sees all the townspeople dead. Yep. They're not soldiers. They're innocent folk.
Yep. So it wasn't actually soldiers you were gunning down in the street. It was innocent people. And then he sees Blondie, too, in her regular dress, crying over the body of a civilian that Teddy is now like a force possessing him outside of himself, puts
Wyatt.
his gun.
We see Wyatt. Yeah.
Yep, puts his gun and shoots Blondie too, right? Like maybe there's some sort of grudge thing going on. But Wyatt
is Wyatt
Teddy,
the guy in the picture, the third guy?
Oh, maybe.
We see that kind of old, like,
but it's not the same
guy.
actor.
No, yeah.
It looks like it to me. So all white guys kind of look the same to me.
Wow.
But I know, but like he's taller than Ford and he's like severe looking. So to me, it looks like Ford's dad is the guy in the middle of the picture. But I don't know. I also think Logan looks like Hector.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right? Like they're kind of the same.
Those I actually see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm not that crazy. But the Blondie 2 knocks Man in Black out.
Yep.
She kills Teddy again.
Yep.
And then knocks out the Man in Black, or maybe she doesn't kill him again. She kills him for the first
Kills
time.
him the first time. We kind of mushed those together, but that's okay, yeah.
But the Man in Black, and her voiceover is like, if you like games so much, try one of ours.
I've got one for you, yep.
What's the game, Dave?
Well, it's called Can You Get to the Knife Before Spooking the Horse and Hanging Yourself? We'll see you on the next episode, and will he get out alive?
Of super sadistic games in the Wild Wild West. Man in Black wakes up on the ground.
Torture games.
Yep, noose around his neck in the dust.
Yep.
Right? He sees his own black horse, which is a robot horse, by the way.
Of course.
So, like, it's a horse, of course.
Of course.
But my thought was, get up and slowly go over to the horse, right? Like, back the horse up was my idea.
Yeah.
Not at all the right answer to this. Like, I'm just saying, if I was the one with that noose,
you'd be dead.
I would be super dead.
You'd be super dead. Absolutely. Yep. Uh-huh.
Teddy is lying next to him on the ground. Dead with a knife, a very sharp knife.
Yep.
Buried in his back.
Yep.
So it is much shorter for the Man in Black to get to the knife that will cut the rope than it is to try to go to the horse that's going to kill him. So he makes the right choice, gets to the knife, is able to, in a moment of excitement. And
it honestly looks like he's feeling something, right?
Yeah,
because he kind of like, he cuts himself down. He's like, ooh, that was kind of fun.
Yep.
You know?
And who shows up to ruin his fun? The CEO lady.
That's right. And he's like, I don't like to be interrupted.
Yep. After he just cut himself down, right? Like, the horse spooks. He gets zipped back by the neck. He's, got the knife between both of his hands that are tied together. He starts going up the tree, but he slashes it overhead and cuts the rope, falls to the ground, drops the knife, wiggles his way out of the noose.
And in comes CEO lady.
Yep. And then she's like, there are other ways that you could spend your time.
Yeah.
It'd be gentler on your back.
Yeah.
You could take up golf. Like you could be a normal fucking person. And she says, I came to find you. I don't like being interrupted, but I needed to tell you, Teresa is dead.
Yeah.
It was an accident.
No, it wasn't.
In this place, he says, there are no accidents.
Yeah, he knows. He knows. And she says something like, we're going to try to push Ford out. I want your vote. And he says,
we'd like to make it unanimous.
Yeah. And he says something along the lines of, I don't give a shit. Don't interrupt me again. If you want to push Ford out, you've got my blessing.
Yep. She says, we were just wondering because you kept him in business all those years ago. You were pretty much the only person that kept him in business for all those years.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm not interested in Ford stories. I'm after Arnold stories.
Yep.
Fuck Ford, do whatever you want. And so, but like, leave me alone. And so, but I thought that was such a...
Don't bother me again.
Yeah, it was such an interesting and I think important moment, right? So he's a member of the board. He's the last vote to make it unanimous.
Yeah.
He doesn't think, now he knows Teresa's dead, but there are no accidents. G.I. Joe seems to be hunting Becky. After this, we see G.I. Joe, who I can't believe his name is Ashley, following no signal, ambushed by Ghost Nation.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And he's like in the park going to look for, they found some trace.
They found some sat phone or something laying somewhere, and he's like, oh, I'm going to go check that out.
Yep. And he should.
Of course, doesn't bring backup.
Why doesn't he bring anybody with him? You know why? Because they're already understaffed. That's why it makes sense.
Automated defense mechanisms are automatic safety.
So he's already shorthanded. So he ends up going out there, which is right now. So Ghost Nation and these arrows are happening right now.
Right.
Arrows don't care, man.
Right.
They're going through you.
Does he get hit? He doesn't get hit with one, does he? They knock him out.
They knock him out. So he's about to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
And then he gets what's the Velociraptor. They Velociraptored him.
Yeah, they did.
As he's looking at the third one.
Circled around. Yep.
Tackled him. Oh, G.I. Joe, I hope you're okay, buddy. Logan surfaces.
That's the last we see of him.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, but we don't know if he'll be...
I don't remember in the finale. That's
he
right.
He might be in the finale.
That's right, maybe.
But this could be the last we see of him.
Until season 2.
In season 2, is he prisoner of Ghost Nation? I hope that his character gets fleshed out. I really like G.I. Joe.
Maybe he becomes Wyatt.
I thought... Okay, I'm not going to spoil anything.
So the other option that I thought is maybe...
Sure.
Maybe Teddy is Wyatt. Because she says to him, Wyatt's not back yet. And then she says to Teddy, you'll come back to us, but you're not ready yet. Maybe in another life. And then kills him. So maybe Teddy becomes Wyatt.
Yep, maybe. I'm not going to spoil
You remember that stroke, but you're not going to spoil it.
I know that one, but I'm not spoiling
that.
it. Yep. Logan Scarface wakes up in William's bloodbath. Yep, Logan has his cut on his face down in the muck. Not in the muck, but in the dust.
He wakes up and he looks around.
It's like he has a super headache or something. Like
he's like super hungover.
Yeah.
Super hungover. He wakes up and...
What does it look like? What does he wake up to?
It's a fucking battle. Everyone is dead.
There's that servo.
Yep. Someone's arm is cut off. There's legs and body parts everywhere. And then he sees...
There were dozens of guys.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Dozens.
There are so many bodies in this camp. And the raucous night before, and they were bros for life, forgiveness, drinking, partying, so many dudes. And Logan wakes up, it's silent.
William
Everyone's
is sitting
dead.
on a bench.
Well, he's like...
Stool, hunched over.
It looks like maybe he was dead, but he's not.
No, he's not.
And what does he say? Does he say anything? No, he just wakes up in that bloodbath. Oh, man. There's got to be more. There's
some dialogue that happens between them, right? Because he says something like... I truly understand this place now, something like that. And then Logan says something Billy, and he says, I said don't call me Billy.
That's right.
And then that scene ends. And that's it.
Yep. And he's like, I understood that this is a game, and I know how to play it now. I figured out how to play the game last night. And he's like standing like a sociopath in the center of all this carnage.
Yep. This is where the Man in Black is born. That's the moment, right?
Yep. I mean, I learned how to play this game last night. Oh, and you see the progression. Like he had taken off his hat.
Yep.
He strangled that kid, I think. Took off his white hat. Tried to save Dolores, but it didn't work out. Sees that she's a robot or whatever, and then learns how to play the game. Kills everybody. Now has Logan as his, prisoner or something.
Yeah.
Ford and Bernard, they do this flashback scene a couple of times.
Yeah.
In this particular one, they go to the hospital, and Maeve's bloodbath suicide. Ford says, as Maeve, guts herself in the neck, Bernard's like, oh my God, how could she do this? How could she do this? Creatures often go to great lengths to protect themselves from pain. Bernard says living beings, not hosts.
Yeah.
And Bernard is having this like existential meltdown. And as he's doing this, so for the rest of the episode, all of the scenes are sort of intercut with other scenes.
Yeah.
So
it's
we
all
see
memories of that he's living.
We see healthy Dolores alone coming through the canyon to the town.
Yep.
Right? And Ford hovering over that whole scene, and they're sort of, there's monologuing, they're talking. The hosts, says Ford, began passing the Turing test in the first year, but that wasn't enough for Arnold. And now Dolores is walking through the town, and they're waltzing, and she's seeing
people in the church, right? She walks up to the church, there's people sitting down.
Like Dolores, as he's saying, they began passing the Turing test, which means that she's, cognizant. She's awake.
That's right. He says something like... they didn't know how to handle what they were doing, so they turned to faith or something like that, and they were all sitting in the church like kind of shaking their heads, talking to people, like kind of going crazy, trying to figure out who's in their head.
Yes, and he said, so Dolores, and she's, imagine if, you're becoming conscious, and you go downtown, and in the center of town, everyone's waltzing, and there's just one woman... that starts walking away from her partner, and another just like, nope, let's stay together, stay with your partner.
Yep.
And this is where we see Maeve. Maeve, great job, Maeve. And so we know that she's an original, host. So they're all like practicing waltzing and doing like self-correction testing, right?
Yeah.
And Dolores, if she's awake, if she's conscious, is like, what the fuck is this? Right? Like everyone's acting like a robot.
Yeah. Well, no shit. Everyone's a fucking robot.
Right? So he says, Ford continues, but that wasn't enough for Arnold. He wanted the real thing. He wanted to create consciousness. The host's malfunctions in the early days were colorful. She opens the door to the church.
Yep.
The church is full of crazy hosts, just sort of like...
spazzing out, talking to himself, talking to God, trying to figure out...
Yeah, as this scene goes on, Dolores keeps changing her outfit. Like, she opens the door to the church and she's wearing her pants and striped shirt. Yep. She walks into the church full of hosts, being crazy, and she's wearing her blue dress.
Yep.
And she goes into the confessional.
Yep.
And it's actually a fucking elevator.
Yep.
And she takes the elevator down. So this is the original Mesa. Yep. So they must have built the new facility in this big, tabletop plateau that has just floors and floors and floors of all of the building and stuff, right?
Yep.
Like that, but it's hidden inside this canyon.
Yep.
The way they did it in the early days, they hid everything under the town. Yep. They built the town on top of the earliest,
beta station. The original test facility.
And the way that they got into and out of it was through the church in the confessional. That's a clever way to do it, right? There's one person in, one person out. Now Dolores is again in her striped pants and shirt, or you know what I mean, walking down this corridor underneath. So she takes the elevator down. It's an
office building.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
There's a leg.
Dead hosts or humans. We don't know what there is.
There's like lights glitching, water running sounds. You peek in a couple of the rooms and there's like that light, bing, 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 the flashing light stuff that's, crazy making. And then... Strobe light. And then sometimes it's clean and fine.
Right.
And then it's clean and fine and young Ford comes around the corner, brushes shoulders with, healthy Dolores, marches down the hallway, takes a sharp turn, says, Arnold, goes through one office to an office even further back.
Closes the door, and they have a discussion.
And what are they saying? Why can't we hear what they're saying?
Because we're not there. We're not in the room.
So she's walking down. She sees, young Ford yelling at Arnold behind the door. And then then the scene is going to change again. I do have a clip. I don't know if I already played it. Yeah. So at this moment... This is what Ford says.
The human mind, Bernard, is not some golden benchmark glimmering on some green and distant hill. No. This is a foul, pestilent corruption. And you're supposed to be better than that. Purer.
You were supposed to be better than that.
Purer.
And as he's saying this, so remember Ford is talking to Bernard and Bernard is having his deep dive in his personality.
Yeah.
But part of this dialogue is overlaid on the images of Dolores walking through the church, walking through that beta station.
Yep.
Sometimes the beta station is a horror movie. Sometimes the beta station is clean. When it's clean, young Ford is there. He starts yelling with Arnold. Dolores continues walking. She sees the door. I thought it was the door that had Arnold and Ford behind it, right? And so I thought was going
to open the office.
Yeah. Yep. And we would get to hear their conversation. When she finally, scenes later, we go back there and she opens that door late in this episode. It's to a stairway down, and we follow her down the stairway, and there's
to that room,
the glass room.
Yep.
The two chairs where she's been talking with Bernard.
Arnold,
the whole time. And now she goes down the stairs.
She sits down.
And then it stops there. We go back to old Ford and Bernard, Arnold and he says to Bernard, who's freaking out, and, Ford's like, don't go back in your brain. You're not going to like what you see.
Yep.
Arnold and I, made you in our image, straight from the Bible, and cursed you to make the same human mistakes. And here we all are. And now Ford and Bernard scenes are cut with blue dress Dolores walking into that basement room. Yep, we already went over this. Bernard wants now to meet Arnold. And Ford says, impossible.
Yeah.
Send me back. And he looks at Clementine with the gun. And then he looks at Ford and he goes, do it. And he's like, you could go mad.
Yep.
I warned you. Okay.
I think he said something too, like, you never met Arnold didn't make you, I did.
I made you. Arnold didn't make you. Don't do this, dude.
Yeah.
And so as Dolores' feet are going down the steps, we see middle-aged Ford waking Bernard up for the first time.
Yep.
So as Dolores is descending, we see Ford, who's saying, after such a long absence, it's good to have you back, finally. And then he hands him the picture.
Yep.
And then he looks at the picture.
And it's him.
And we see himself, the guy in the middle.
And Arnold.
And Ford. And so that's the Arnold reveal, right?
Yep.
And he goes, I can't help you. Why is that? You know why. Oh, this was Dolores. So now she's downstairs. He sees himself.
Yep.
We see new footprints, Arnold's steps coming down the steps.
Yep.
Entering that room. Blue dress Dolores is there. She's sitting there. Arnold is like, they're on the verge of something here.
Yep.
And he says, I can't help you.
And you know why.
And you know why. And
she says, because I killed you.
Because you're dead. Because I killed you. Because you're just a memory. And then it's Pants Dolores, striped shirt, sitting alone, not in blue dress.
Nope.
And there's cobwebs and dust on everything. It has been years. And so, holy fuck.
Yep. She walks back upstairs, I think. She goes back up in the elevator. The church is empty.
Yep. And then the doors open.
And she says, William?
And guess who it is?
The man in black.
Bum, bum, bum.
And she's scared.
If she remembers what the man in black has done to her over the years, she should be. God bless you, by the way.
Thank you. She's scared. And I think this is also the time when they put two and two together, because she says, William? And it's him. It's William.
Oh, but that's our moment of reveal.
That's a reveal moment.
Yeah. And it's the man in black.
Yep.
And he enters the church, and then we don't see them again for the rest of the episode, because the episode, this is our final scene. It's Ford and Bernard and Clementine who has the gun. And now Bernard knows, right? Yep. He knows it all.
He knows everything.
And so Ford is now more in control of the scene, right? He gets up, he's walking around.
Yep.
And he says, what's your next move here, Bernard? Right now, you're more of a danger to this park and to all the hosts in it than I am. Play this out. What are you going to do? Right? And he goes,
he says something like, I'm going to kill you, or something like that.
He goes, you're more of a danger than I am. And he tells Clementine, kill him, pull the trigger.
Yep.
She doesn't do anything.
And this is where Ford says,
the piano doesn't kill the piano player if it doesn't like the music.
Right. And then he says,
which is our clavicle,
our clavier.
Well-tempered clavier. Yeah. The piano doesn't murder the piano player just because it doesn't like the music.
And then this is where he turns it and he says, I would have taken a more narrative approach.
Oh, he goes, Bernard built a back door into all the hosts.
Yeah.
Credit where credit is due. He built it, in all the hosts, including yourself. And so Ford is sort of musing here.
Yep.
And he's like, well, why? Bernard's pissed. He's like, why? You could have stopped this at any time. Why did you let me do all this? Yeah. And he goes, we've had our falling outs in the past.
Yeah. I wanted to see if you'd come around.
He's like,
I hoped you wouldn't make the same mistake Arnold did, or something along those lines.
Yeah. He was like, I fell for this oldest human trap that even I fell into that most terrible of human traps, trying to change what has already passed. Yeah. He wanted him to choose to be his partner.
Yeah, he wanted him to
he gave him
get
that
alive.
Choice.
Yeah.
Come back, Bernard.
Yeah.
You and I work together again. Let's go back. Forget all this. Come on. Let me erase your memory. We'll go back. We're a good team.
Yep.
Choose me. And he doesn't.
He doesn't.
He tells Clementine to kill him, and Clementine doesn't. And Ford says, is like,
I prefer the more narrative approach. And he says, Bernard, walk over.
Yep. Take the gun from
Clementine. When Dr. Ford leaves the room, pull the trigger.
And before he can do that, the shot is of Anthony Hopkins leaving the room, and the gun to the head over his back shoulder of Bernard, and we just hear him say, Robert. And Ford stops and, like, takes a breath. And then he turns. And he says, I told you to never put your trust in us. We're only human. Inevitably, we will disappoint you. Goodbye, my friend. And he fucking leaves. And as
Fucking powerful, man. It's ridiculous. I think somewhere in this episode, he also Ford talks about human primacy and how why are there no other intelligent beings in the world because we've killed them all.
Yeah, it was there. Why would you, Bernard? Do you know what happened to the what is it? Not Homo sapien, the Neanderthal.
The Neanderthal.
The Neanderthal. We kill whatever it is. Yeah, this is when he's about to say, you know, what? How is this going to play out, buddy?
Yeah.
What is your next step?
Yeah.
You think the humans are going to let you exist? Right now, you're more of a danger to the host than I am.
Yep.
And don't pretend that you're their friend. You've done more to shackle them here than I would have ever come up with.
Yep.
You've done it to yourself too, right? Like you built this back door in here.
Yep. And now I'm taking advantage of it.
Yep. And you're not, you know, and but he says, even I fell into that most terrible of human traps. He wants him to choose him. He wants to be bros forever.
Yeah.
He wants him to say,
I love working with you. Do you think that's what he's building
you.
In his secret printer? He's building another Bernard?
I don't know. Is he building another one of himself?
I mean, if he's been down this road before, right?
Yeah.
You think he's killed Bernard before over and over again? You think he preemptively was like, well, shit, I'm going to have to build another one. This is happening again.
Yep. It could be himself that he's building.
You think he's building himself?
I don't know.
So
I mean, from a logistical perspective, probably not, because Anthony Hopkins is an older actor and probably doesn't want to do another season. But like, you know, but he could be building himself. Who is he building down there? Is he just building random hosts?
Yeah.
Right. Like, is it supposed to be anybody? The idea. Man, it's so good, Dave. Oh, it's so good. And he actually pulls the trigger. Right.
Yeah.
Like we see the shot go off in the background.
Yeah.
Now, is he super dead? Does he get all of his processing power? Like, is he fixable? I don't know, man. Yeah. We got to stay tuned.
And who's going to find him down there?
Well, I remember I remember I watched long enough to see scenes from next
episode. How dare you, Tana? No! Hold out your hand.
Here it is.
What have you learned?
Nothing.
Nothing, exactly. Speaking of nothing.
Yes, I'm going to play it one more time.
Play it.
Yep. I'm going to play it one more time. Team, I need you to email me, westeroswheneverly at gmail.com, and tell me what the hell is this song. Yep, go ahead.
Play the song. But speaking of email, we got ourselves an email from a listener.
Fun email.
We got a very fun email from our good friend, and by good friend I mean this is the first time that he's emailed me.
Ice Eyes John on Twitter.
Eyes John. John Ice Eyes.
John Ice Eyes.
And it's actually a really, really good email about kind of religious symbols in Westworld, and I think he hits a couple nails on the head.
All right, lay him on
me.
So
we're gonna just take a side break and just talk about them a little bit. So the first, I'm gonna read basically directly from his email, since he puts it together more eloquently than I do.
Yep.
So all credit right now to
John Ice
Eyes. Ice Eyes. So like in your eye. Anyway, first is the Gnostic angle. Gnostic Christians in ancient times believed that material world was made by a creator god called Demiurge. Demiurge. Who knows if I'm saying these names right? He's the guy we meet in the Hebrew Bible. He's all about rules, and he's kind of a dick.
Okay.
Ford.
Yeah, okay.
Right? They believed that there was another greater God incarnated as Jesus. This real God was all goodness and love and would redeem their souls. He's higher than the demiurge, comes from the spiritual realm or heaven, and he gave people their immortal souls. He disdains the material world, which is hard, dirty, and sinful.
Yeah, that's Ford.
Arnold.
No, that's Ford.
No, that's Arnold. He gave them their souls.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. Okay, I see where we're going.
So the way to get to heaven, the Gnostics figured, was through knowing some special truth.
Yeah.
Inside the maze, maybe? This secret wisdom was called Sophia, depicted as a woman. Her name means wisdom, and she was the key to getting into heaven and leaving the dirty, sinful material world behind.
There are a lot of... Well, there's a lot of this kind of symbolism is the same sort of across all major religions, right? And Greek mythology and the great stories of human civilization. So you can find a lot of
analogous.
Yeah.
Analogous.
I was going to say. I was going to pronounce it wrong.
Analogous.
Analogies.
Analogies.
A lot of analogies.
Yeah. So I think those are some great points, but I think his next one hits home the most.
Something about Ishtar?
Yes. So he talks about the Sumerian myth.
Yeah.
And he says that we got him with the excellent observation that Maeve is naked and that no one pays attention to her.
Right. She's
That's
invisible.
something you brought up last episode.
Yeah.
And, so he talks about Ishtar, who descends into the underworld, and she's the goddess of love and war.
Yeah.
She's lust, sex, blood, vengeance.
Yeah.
Ishtar's temple was the one people talk about where the priestess were sex workers.
Yeah.
It's a whorehouse, right? We're talking about Maeve here. And basically the myth goes down to as Ishtar goes down into the underworld to
Which is what Maeve's about to do. Go into the underworld in the next episode.
To save her husband, she has to take
Hector with her,
but she has to take pieces off, right? Her crown, her necklace, her bracelets, everything.
Yeah.
In the end, she makes it to the king and queen of the underworld, stripped down naked.
Yeah.
She rescues her husband, goes back up, and gets her stuff back.
Yeah.
So that's Maeve. Powerful goddess, queen of lust and sex workers, but wrathful as fuck.
And higher, there's more nobility of spirit in Maeve. She has them choose, even though she could be the all-powerful god. She has them choose her, which is the moral high ground there.
That's right.
You know what? I have a thing I didn't use. Maeve. Let's end on Maeve. Okay, so this is when she wakes up with Felix and Sylvester the Molester, and she is like, holy, she's feeling her look right now.
Parts of me are quite old. There are some elegant, formal structures. Kind of recursive beauty, but complex, like two minds arguing with each other.
Like camera?
Yeah.
There are things in me. Things I was designed to do that are just out of my reach. They almost seem to be dormant. Who is Arnold?
Who is Arnold? I could listen to her talk all day.
Oh, it's so good.
Thanks for hanging with us, you guys.
Thanks for hanging, everyone. Thanks for writing us emails, John. Please write us more emails.
Someone tell me what that song is.
Someone tell Tana what that song is. She won't leave me alone about it. She doesn't know it.
I wish I could Google it, but I don't know. How do you Google a sound?
Shazam?
I don't Shazam.
Well, maybe you should.
Maybe I should.
That's how you Google a sound. You should.
This drink.
This drink looks like nothing to us.
Looks like nothing because we drank all of it.
That's right. It's all gone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. And join us
next week.
Not next week.
2 days from now.
On Friday.
Someday.
We're going to watch the finale.
Time doesn't exist on the internet.
No, it doesn't. You're right. Someday in the future, soon, wheneverly. You will join us wheneverly for the finale.
When we will finally remember all of the things that we don't remember.
That's right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.
Good night.